Hey, are you getting shot down over the phone when you're trying to close a deal? Let's give you 3 tactics that you can start using right now to close more deals over the phone. Hey, I get it, man. I get it. It sucks making phone calls. It really does. No one's comfortable making phone calls, especially in sales when they're cold calls where the other person doesn't even know who you are. You're going to hear no a ton of times, probably 90+% times. Someone's either going to hang up the phone or doesn't want anything to do with you. But that does not mean you can't close more deals over the phone. So here's how you do it. Tactic number 1. The first thing you should always do over the phone in sales is asking a customer what their name is, if you don't know it, especially if a customer is calling you. One of the number 1 misses we do in sales is the lack of rapport and trust we attempt to build with that customer. So you got to ask them their name. I mean, if you're telling me you're trying to build trust and rapport and you don't even know the customer's name, we're already losing. So if you want to really close more deals, let's just start off with asking the person's name. It's really simple. And then introduce yourself and your name. Hey, this is Corey. If you don't mind me asking, what's your name? Who am I speaking with today? Stacy? Hey, Stacy, how's it going? That's it. It's as simple as that, right? And that gets you to tactic number 2 if you really and truly want to close more deals over the phone, which is ask a lot of questions about the customer. Why? So you can let the customer talk. The customer needs to talk 90% of the time. By the way, whether it's over the phone or in person, the reality is when people call businesses, the tendency is for the businesses to talk more about themselves. It is. It's a fact. Call any business right now. Ask one question about their menu or their product or service line, and they will just start rambling on about their service, product, or like, what are we talking about here? Like, that's what they're talking about, is themselves. And you might be thinking, yeah, but Corey, that makes sense. You ask them a question about their product or service. Why wouldn't they talk about their product or service? Are you an idiot? Of course they ask the question about their product or service. But if you start talking about it without even knowing what the customer's goals are, then how do you even know if it's the right solution for them? So tactic 2 is all about asking the customer questions that are all about them. Hey, what's your goal? Why don't we start with that? If you want to try to solve a problem for a customer, wouldn't it be great if you knew what they were looking to do in the first place? Why is that their goal? The why on anything is one of the most important questions ever to ask. Have they had any past experience in your business, your product, your service? What a great question that is. Do they have a great support system? Maybe their goal is health and wellness, and they found it hard to lose weight in the past. Hey, do you have a good support system around you? Anyone that's supporting you in losing weight? All of these questions gives you an opportunity to actively listen to the customer. And again, you're furthering the reality of trying to build trust and rapport with a customer, so essentially you could try and close the deal over the phone. Tactic number 3 is easy. Once you ask them their name and you understand a lot about them and what they're looking to do, well, then recommend a solution. And by the way, it's your solution. This is when you get to talk about yourself, right here at the end. And one thing about closing a deal, even if you do all those things, closing a deal doesn't just mean dollars and cents. It can simply mean booking an appointment. Maybe you got a customer over the phone to confirm or book an appointment to come in a couple of days or next week. That is closing a deal. So remember those 3 tactics. You got to build trust and rapport, so ask them their name. You got to ask a bunch of questions about themselves, and then and only then can you actually provide a solution and lead back to you as that very solution. That's how you close more deals over the phone.